How's it going, everybody? This is the Nerd Appreciation Podcast, the podcast that brings you the latest nerdy news and geeky reviews. I'm your host, Lloyd, and joining me this week is Laura. Laura is a longtime friend. We used to go to college together. She's a big movie buff. She reads and all of that good stuff. So I hope you enjoy our conversation. Just want to let you guys know that I have some ideas for the YouTube channel. I will be updating you soon on that. I'm still bouncing around ideas and I want the time to be right. At the moment, I just want to get into the rhythm of getting this podcast out on a regular basis and making the clips on a regular basis as well. So for now, the YouTube is going to be primarily for those two things. If you enjoy this podcast, just share it around on YouTube or tell your friends to download us on iTunes or Stitcher, things like that, because word of mouth really is the best way to get this podcast out there. So I'd really appreciate it if you let your friends know. But other than that, I won't keep you waiting any longer. I hope you enjoy the show, and let's get on with this. So, Laura, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience for me, please?
Hi, I'm Laura. One thing I love to do is read. I have a massive bookshelf in my room full of books, most of them half read because I read a book, get annoyed, or I get distracted. I want to read another book, so I've got so many on the go that I'm pretty sure I've lost count.
I tend to do the same thing. I start reading a book, and I love starting books, and yes. I'm not as big of a fan of finishing them for some reason. I don't know what that is.
I know. Yeah. Well, Tolkien's one I'm trying to get through. Half of it's a fucking musical. And it's very long-winded, very eloquent, that I just think I need a bit of a change of pace. So I read a scientific book, which is quite funny.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
Another thing, I like just to, because I have a busy work, so I like to come down and unwind. That involves box sets. Yeah. Currently getting through Parks and Recreation at the moment.
Good.
I love that show.
It is great.
To start off with, I forgot that it was a mock documentary, so I thought this is a really weird way of trying to film a TV show, and then it clicked on that's how it's meant to be set up.
Yeah.
Just falling in love with it. Films has probably got to be the one thing. Like, I have a case. It's probably as thick as my mattress, and it's just got like films falling out of it. I like owning a disc. A lot of people say, "Oh, why don't you just download it or get it online?" I like owning the disc.
Why don't you just get rid of your mattress and sleep on your DVDs? You'd save on space.
I could do that, but then, like, I like to move it around a lot, so I would be very uncomfortable because I'm constantly getting stuff out of it. Top films. Number one is the Star Wars saga, because my babysitter got me that very young, so that's what I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Favorite episode probably being Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, same. What do you think of the newest one? There's a lot of flack about The Last Jedi. I particularly wasn't a fan.
The Last Jedi, that whole Leia, like, I thought, if that's the way she dies, okay.
I would have been fine with that. I was ready to cry.
I would have been fine with that.
Yep.
Yes, I was ready for Leia to go, because R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, gorgeous. And then Jedi weird shit. She comes back on board, walks in, says something, collapses. I'm like,
which is not out of character, but I think it would have been way more respectful to Carrie Fisher to have ended that there. You know, because I had the lump in my throat while that was happening, ready for it to be over, and then I was like, "What?"
I was watching it with my family. We were just sat there. It's like, this is beautiful. And then she does that, and I'm like, what? Is she going to die later on in the film? What's happening? And I was just...
I guess we'll have to wait until episode 9, but I'm just, like, after that debauchery, I'm not particularly interested anymore. I don't think I'm gonna watch the next one in the cinema, at least.
No, well, I'm hoping to earn enough points with Odeon so I can get another free ticket.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I'll spend it on films I actually want to watch, and then I'll earn enough points to get the free ticket, which I use on Star Wars, so...
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Are there any other films you like? What else do you like?
I like the Marvel, that whole Marvel franchise.
Yeah.
And then at the moment, I think a lot of people agree it's Thor Ragnarok.
I disagree.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I've spoken about it before on the podcast. Basically, I think it's weird. I'm glad they didn't number it or anything like that, like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. And I'm glad it's separate. And I'm also happy that Chris Hemsworth got his way. He was obviously bored with the character and he wanted something else. But I think they just went far too heavily on the comedy. Like, it was hard for me to stay gripped. I just didn't like it as a film. But that's just my opinion. Like,
yeah,
as a lead up to Infinity War, I don't think I just thought about this morning. Infinity War started a little too. They should have done that where Ragnarok left off. Like, they're flying away in the ship, and then suddenly they get caught. But that whole battle scene is just missing from our eyes.
Yeah, that only really clicked at me because first time I watched the end of Ragnarok, I was like, oh, what's that big ship?
Yeah.
And then I'm watching Infinity War and they're all slaughtered. I didn't really think about it. And then, because it was a couple of days ago, I rewatched Ragnarok. And at the end of the film, I was like, oh shit. Oh my god.
I knew that was the ship when I watched it. I was like, oh.
And
but
then
I was
it only really
hoping to
just
see.
clicked. I was like, oh god, they've just escaped one massacre and they're actually really going to be massacred now. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think Infinity War as a whole was like paced so quickly. It felt like an hour's worth of actual time just like went by so quickly, and everything just happened at once, and it was all go from the first moment. You know.
I know. There's so many characters to get through as well.
There is, and so much happens in such a short amount of time. And even though it was a 3-hour long film, they had to pack in a lot, which they did masterfully, I think.
Yeah, compared to how it could have turned out, it was alright.
Absolutely. I read an article this morning. Apparently, they changed the opening to Infinity War quite a few times, which I can see why. It's hard to. This is the film of the decade, and it's hard to open something like that, you know.
But out of that film, I have come to this decision that the Scarlet Witch is strongest Avenger.
Yeah, I mean, she still died. Technically.
I know, but all at once she managed to destroy an Infinity Stone, as well as hold back Thanos, who's probably one of the strongest, physically out there. At the same time, she managed to do both, which I think is pretty epic.
Yeah, that's cool.
And from a woman's point of view, badass.
Yeah. I'll give you it. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else other than Avengers?
Harry Potter. When Harry is not acting like a whiny bitch.
Yeah, that tends to happen a lot in the books, especially. I feel like the film version's a bit more tame, but that's because we're not like shoehorned into Harry's mind.
I know, because you get like other people's perspective, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And
I think J.K. Rowling should redo the books, but from a different person's perspective. Like, a friend of mine's daughter wrote Harry Potter from Hermione's perspective. That was interesting. Oh. So if I see a concept like that, that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, maybe from Voldemort's perspective, that'd be sick. I'd read that.
Yeah, or even maybe like a couple of characters, so ones you don't
like Game of Thrones
much.
style. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, especially Draco. I would love to see something from Draco's point of view.
I'd like to see something other than the browbeating Nazi that he is portrayed as in the books.
Yeah, because like people debate that he actually has a character to him, like a character development.
So, like towards the end of especially in 6, he's really complex. He's such a complex character, and he was played incredibly well in the film, and it just didn't show in the book as much, I don't think. And in 7, it's sort of it just wasn't there. He became something else. But yeah, Draco's a incredibly complex character, and it just wasn't expanded upon at all. It was in the films to the like it was. I actually felt for his character by the end of the movies.
That's why I like going on Tumblr and like researching other characters on that, because there are so many beautiful fan works and fan arts out there that it's what sort of keeps sort of Harry Potter alive for me, because there are so many people dedicated to like all these other characters' point of views, like their interpretation, and it's beautiful. It's lovely.
Cool. So is there anything else you want to say before we get into the what you've been up to segment?
Oh, I'm just surrounded by all the booze in my cellar. I love a good cocktail, like a nice fruity cocktail.
Yeah.
So I think my ideal night would be a porn star martini in one hand, Empire Strikes Back on the TV. That would be a good night.
I don't drink, so I don't know any of these terms. Ginger nuts. I'll take the ginger nuts, but keep the alcohol.
I love anything fruity based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like ale. That's about as much as I can handle.
Yeah,
I'm just not a drinker.
I wouldn't touch.
Yeah, I'm not a drinker. I'm a social drinker, but I'll have like one. Yeah, I'm not overly keen.
Yeah, I'm quite the opposite.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
so we're going to get into the what you've been up to segment. This is the segment in the show where we talk about what we've been doing, what we've been playing, what we've been reading, etc. So if you want to head us off, have you been playing anything recently?
That weird Harry Potter game that was brought out a while ago, that Hogwarts thing where you play a character.
That's the mobile game, yeah? Yeah,
the mobile game. And my name is Lyra Scott. I'm in Slytherin, and I have blonde dreadlocks. I have a mysterious brother I've never met myself. It's just the plot line's a bit weird. And you got a gangster-looking Snape. If anyone's played this, he's sort of got his arms crossed, and he's weird.
Yeah.
No, it's just like the amount of stuff you can sort of like get away with.
Yeah.
And then I don't think the story changes from like if you're in any other houses or anything. But I don't know, it's such a weird game. But I get to do potions and flying classes and charms.
Isn't there a murder in the early story? Did I hear that wrong?
I don't know. I'm only up to year 2 because again, it's something I get annoyed at sometimes, so I just stopped doing it for a bit.
I thought I heard somewhere that there was like a student was murdered. Like what? Like how is that a good idea for a school? And they just carry on. Hogwarts is a flawed like system. It's a flawed school in general.
Yeah, there were a few deaths the last time the Chamber of Secrets were opened, but they didn't really close the school at that point, did they?
No.
The best school and like the worst school for student attendance.
Yeah.
They either skip class or sort of don't make it.
What else are we doing?
That's sort of a thing I lack in. I don't play much. It's mostly sort of this cross-stitch thing I've got on my phone, or Sims.
Yeah.
Sims 4.
Okay.
I'm determined to actually remember my login because I haven't been on it in ages. But then again, I do like sleep.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But that's it with the playing. That's something I don't do much.
I've been playing a few games actually. I've been recently bought Hellblade on my Xbox. It's a really interesting game. It's sort of goes into like mental disorders and depression, things like that, while telling this narrative of you play as this girl and she's died basically and she's going through hell. It's the Nordic version of hell, so it's set in Norse mythology kind of thing.
God, really, I love anything to do with Norse mythology.
It's really fascinating. You can find these sort of they're called lore stones, and then you get bits of information about the Norse mythology, basically. So it's really cool. It's really well acted and interesting story, definitely. And it really interestingly implements those mental disabilities. I keep saying disabilities, disorders. like schizophrenia. There's a scene where you're walking through this area and you see eyes just appear they just appear on things. It's really creepy. Yeah, and the fighting's actually really good. The combat's decent. It's kind of hard on the boss fights, but no, it's a really interesting game, and I'm interested to see where the story's going to go. I'm at the second boss at the moment, so I'm not too far in, I don't think. But yeah, really excited to play more of that.
So they told you sort of what you're aiming for, like what's at the end of the quest, in a sense.
Kind of. In the first scene of the main character, she's holding this head in a bag, and it's supposed to be her loved one. You're like, what? Okay. So she's trying to find her loved one in hell, basically. Yeah, you got to fight these gods, and yeah, just go through. It's like a sort of puzzle-ish. It's kind of puzzly. It's not particularly difficult, but yeah, you go through these environments and try and work out how to get through it.
Looking at some pictures of it. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's made in the Unreal 4 engine, so it's like really high quality. I mean, I'm not getting the most of it because my Xbox is really poor. It's not particularly great for that sort of stuff, but yeah, I'm probably going to get it on PC and whack up to full setting.
The definition's good.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Hellblade in a nutshell. It's
yeah.
Weird puzzle, awesome looking.
Carry your heads around in a bag.
Yeah, from the first moment you see the main character, but it's definitely intriguing, and also like every time you die, you get this sort of infection that crawls up your arm, and each time you die, you get closer to being overtaken by it, and then like if you get completely enthralled, then it's permadeath, and you have to start again from scratch, which is an interesting mechanic.
So you get all the way to the end of the game, but in a sense of
but if you keep dying over and over again, you'll have to start again from the beginning.
So how far have you got?
I'm on the second boss. There's a fire boss, and then there's a boss of sort of illusion. They're different gods based in Norse mythology. You can choose to fight either of those in any order. But yeah, I'm on the second one of those. I don't know how many there are in the game, but we'll see. Cool. So that's that. Yeah. Other than that, playing a bit of Monster Hunter, not much. Started playing Hitman. I'm not very good at stealth games, I worked out. And no, I can't do it. I'm terrible. Speaking of stealth games, like I recently finished Ghost Recon Wildlands. It just has the worst possible ending. It's just not. It's really bad.
No, I don't play games, and I don't think I should because I suck at it. Because one of the people I support, he got out this Lord of the Rings game on his Xbox, and he goes, "Oh, have a go. It's really easy. You blondes should do it." And I was like, "Okay." I played on it. I sucked. I think I died more than I killed people. I think it was a ratio about 5-1. Me dying 5 times for the one person I killed.
Out of interest, is this Shadow of War?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I wasn't good at that game. I didn't enjoy it anyway. So that's all I've been playing. What have you been reading? Anything?
I'm currently trying to finish Tolkien.
Yeah.
That is, it's hard to get through, and then I'm rereading Serenity, Leaves on the Wind. So it's a graphic novel, and honestly, like when I found this, I think it was like November 2016. That's I think when they brought it out. So it's basically sort of a story set sort of after Firefly ends.
Yeah.
No, it's the Serenity film after the Serenity film ends. It's a graphic novel, and honestly, it was just that bit of something I needed. So I found Firefly. I was like, "Oh, this is a great show," and then realised it finished after one season. And then I got really sad, and then I found out they did a film. God, I was really happy. And then someone said they'd done these graphic novels, and my heart exploded. And it's so good. It's such a good story.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do a season 2.
No, and I wouldn't want them to either. Like, as much as I love the show, because all the characters, to be honest, they're probably a bit too old, and Even a remake with like a whole different cast, I don't think I would want that.
Nah, I see what you mean.
No. Another thing I picked up from a bookstore, I went into town and realised I'd forgotten a book. So, plus I wanted to go have a cup of tea, but I wanted to read a book at the same time. So I went into Waterstones, went upstairs and just grabbed the book. And it's called The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. Author is Becky Chambers, and it is awesome. It's set in space, and it's about this crew. They basically punch like wormholes, like that connect different places together. It's really, really good, and it's set around this character called Rosemary, and she's running from her past, and so she boards this crew, and they're all sort of a couple of different species. I'm trying to sort of actually wonder how to pronounce these species that this lady has made up, and it is so good. I'm just over halfway through it, and I honestly recommended it for a bit of space fun, readable book.
I don't really read many sci-fi books.
It's funny and it's got a story to it, and I love it.
Yeah. You also mentioned earlier a book called Elephants on Acid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was coming to this. Elephants on Acids and the Other Bizarre Experiments. So this author, Alex Bose, basically collects all these different weird experiments that people have done, or their stories as well, like really weird stories, and he's basically put them in a book. And there's 2 other books as well, Hippo Eats Dwarfs and Electrifying Sheep. And it's just really, really interesting about all these messed up people.
Yeah.
And so there's also a sense of like old wives' tale as well, like people thought were true. So there's a few like women's things in there which people thought were true, but there's also some like really interesting stories about there's a lot of animals in it, which is, well, it's all based around animals because that's all people used to be able to experiment on.
Yeah.
But it's a fun book to read, and it's really colourful as well. I love the title, Elephants on Acid.
Yeah. It sounds like something you'd read on the toilet.
Yeah. Or just sort of on a bus ride, or something quick, because they are a quick read because it's short chapters and it's like short stories, so you can, it's something you can quickly read in a couple of minutes if you have like a couple of minutes spare. Yeah,
that sounds
really
cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
I've been trying to get through Misery and Storm of Swords at the moment. I usually read a couple of books at a time, and then I read one for a while and then pick up another sort of thing. So Misery and Storm of Swords have been sticking out at the moment because I'm just trying to get through the Song of Ice and Fire series in general. But yeah, I just got to the Purple Wedding just this morning, so that's interesting. And Misery is starting to get very interesting. I'm just at the bit where Paul has started writing the new manuscript for the remake of the book he's being forced to write. So that's all I've been reading at the moment.
Well, what do you mean he's trying to be forced to write a book?
So basically, the main character wakes up in this woman's house after a car accident, and this woman just happens to be his number one fan. He's a writer, and she's just insane, and she I think in the film she definitely breaks his legs, but it's sort of unclear at this point in the book. But his legs are completely mangled, so he can't walk or do anything or escape, and there's like a few feet of snow outside, so he can't really run away, or even if he could walk. So he basically hates this series of books that he's written. So he just finished writing the ending of that series, and there was a car accident he was in, and he just happened to crash near this woman's house. Whether it's intentional or not is unclear at this point because I don't know it. I haven't seen the film either, so I'm going in fresh. She finds the manuscript for a new book series that he wrote, and she definitely doesn't like that because there's a lot of swearing in that, so she burns that. So yeah, that's as far as I've gotten so far. But it's really interesting. I never used to be a fan of Stephen King's books until reading this. I tried reading It. That's like, apparently he was on a lot of acid when he wrote that book, so it's a bit hard to stay grips with. But the film was great, so I wanted to read the book as well.
Yeah. Okay. I think I would probably need to start reading Stephen King. I haven't actually read anything by him yet.
I could definitely recommend Misery to you.
Okay.
Or like Shawshank Redemption, because that's something everyone's seen. But there's another one called Mr. Mercedes. I haven't read it yet, but apparently a couple of people say that it's a good one to start with.
Okay.
But there are so many Stephen King books, you can just pick one up, and if you don't like it, you can find another one that he's written. He's such a versatile writer that he's got quite a lot of books under his belt, you know.
Yeah. I feel like with the amount of books I think he's written, I could probably fill up my bookshelf once over again.
Yeah. And there was a period he was writing so much that the publishing company he was with at the time wouldn't let him write any more books under his own name. So he wrote them under a different name and got more money that way from his books, so he could write more. So he's a really prolific writer, and it's quite inspiring.
Yeah.
So yeah. Have you been watching anything recently?
So the remake of The Mummy, that came up recently, and I decided to watch it again. And how I wish they never even thought about it, because The Mummy has probably got to be one of my another like favorite like films ever.
Yeah.
It's like a go-to film I could never get bored of. And I'm actually a fan of the third one, which was the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. There's a few people I've met and they're just like, no. But I think it's still good, even though they did have to recast Rachel Weisz, but still it was a good film. And I don't know, I just felt it was too dark for me. I think because I'm so set on the originals and I love them so much, and that the thought of it being remade but like totally different, I just wasn't a massive fan of the film.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, to be honest. I think they were trying to go too hard for this dark universe thing instead of actually trying to actually build up the film to be, you know, good.
Yeah, and I think it gets to a point where Tom Cruise jumping out of planes just gets just a bit too much.
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't die.
I don't think he did jump out of it. I mean, they explain the reason he doesn't die, don't they?
I know, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the film.
No, I didn't enjoy it.
I felt like that's hours I wouldn't get back. So I am quite comfortable pretending it doesn't exist and just sticking to the original trilogy. Yeah. And there are actually 2 other films about the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Actually, The Rock Johnson, and I was just like mind blown.
Not his finest moment, but
no, they're so funny. And then because there's like Scorpion King 2 as well.
Yeah.
I don't even remember how I found them. It was probably when I was browsing through CEX or something.
Yeah.
And it just popped out. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to own these because they look hilarious.
Yeah. No, they're a great crack. If you got some spare time, I'd definitely watch it.
Yeah, it's just funny, just like watching the acting because it's not quite A-class.
Yeah. So I've been watching a bit more of this series on Netflix called Good Girls. Last time on the podcast, I was sort of poo-pooing it because I didn't feel like the characters were unique enough when they were together. But I've actually it's starting to get really good. And
is that the one with the 4 mums and they rob people?
It's 3, and yes, they do. Yeah,
I've seen a trailer
really
for that,
good.
And that does look really good.
It is great.
Added to my watch list.
I'd definitely watch it. It's less about the robberies and it's more about the reasons why they're doing it, which is an interesting take. And it when they're on their own, they are amazing people and they're so human. And one of them's going through a divorce. One of them has a daughter she's losing custody because of a divorce or a breakup, and the other one is losing their daughter because of an illness, and they're all financially messed up. And so it's going through like the reasons why they're robbing in the first place, but they get involved in like this crime syndicate, sort of gangsters, and yeah, it gets more racy as each episode goes on, but it's really engaging, and I love watching it. It's great, so I can definitely recommend it.
Are in a series?
So there are 10 episodes. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a watch.
I've seen something on Amazon Prime. There's a Marvel series called Cloak and Dagger.
My friend was talking about this last week when we had him on. He says it's alright. I'm not so keen, based on trailers that I've seen.
Yeah, I was watching the trailers, and I was just like, is this like another teen film that's just, they're being separated? Well, they're physically being separated by this force, but I don't know. It just feels like something that's just suddenly popped up. Like, there's been no hype about it. I've seen nothing about it being advertised except as soon as it's turned up.
I saw something about it ages ago, but I just didn't think anything about it until last week, really. Apparently, from what Adam said, it's sort of a play on the yin-yang dynamic. Okay. It's based on Marvel characters, so I knew it was when I saw the trailer. I was like, those are Marvel characters, but I don't know anything about the characters at all, or how true or not true to the characters these adaptations are. But I'm not particularly invested. Like there are enough Marvel things coming out at the moment for me not to. I can miss watching this. I don't need to. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just don't bother with.
Tagline. Do you want to see what it's advertised as?
What's that?
2 teenagers from very different backgrounds find themselves burdened and awakened to newly acquired superpowers, while this is totally sort of unpredicted, falling in love. Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a lot of pining.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I can do without it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't keep me interested for more than a few episodes, so.
No, honestly, that's something, because I watched for so long, can't help but not watch anything else it brings out.
Yeah.
So I sort of watch it sort of religiously, purely because I watched like the first 3, and then I was like, I feel like I can not watch it now.
Yeah, I don't do that. If I can easily just drop a TV show if I want to.
I can't.
I've dropped films in the middle of watching them before.
I've only ever done that with one film, and it's the Grimsby Brothers.
Oh yeah. No, I have no interest. I already know I have no interest in that film.
That is I would do not waste your time watching that film.
No.
I can't even put it into words.
Yeah. I can usually tell from a trailer or two if I'm going to be interested. Sometimes I get surprised. But I trust my gut enough. I drink enough Yakult to know if I'm going to like a film.
Who still drinks Yakult?
I don't know. Not me. That was just a joke.
I'm wondering if they even still make it.
Yeah, I saw it the other day in the shop. But yeah, I just drop films in the middle of watching them sometimes. I still haven't finished In Time. It's a couple of years old at this point.
In Time?
Yeah. Do you know that film? I think I've spoken about it before
on
the podcast.
Is that the one with Donald Gleeson?
I don't know. I
know
that's
it's got... About Time. Sorry, no, I'm thinking about
okay.
Something else.
This one has Justin Timberlake in it.
Oh, that one, and then they have all their time on their arms.
Yeah,
and...
it's a really cool concept, but I just as soon as they went to the wherever it is they're supposed to go, I just lost all interest, so I turned it off. I haven't watched 2012. I watched that film. Started watching that film. I still haven't finished it.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, there are probably some others anecdotally that I've just dropped, but I can't think of any on the top of my head. So have you been watching anything else? Or...
No, it's just trailers. Honestly, part of my day is going on IMDb and watching the latest trailers.
Yeah.
There are a couple.
We can get into that later in the after the news segment because I got a whole list there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead, aren't I?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So other than that, I've been watching Extinction. This came out. I spoke about it on the last episode.
Oh, is that the one?
I wasn't sure how I felt about it. Go on. What were you gonna say?
Is that the Netflix film with the guy from Ant-Man?
Yes.
Is it good?
It is. So I wasn't keen up on it until the fucking twist happens. Oh my days. I'm not going to spoil it, but I will not spoil it because it is fucking great and it keeps you confused right up until it's pretty much explained to you. But it's a good film. It's great. So you don't feel like anything is at stake because the main character has so much confidence and it's sort of weird to watch him just run about with so much confidence because he has these sort of prophetic dreams which you think like this is going to happen, so we've seen it happen, so we know what's going to happen in the film, but the twist happens and then that whole theory just falls apart, so you're like, what? So definitely watch it. I'm not going to say anything about it. Maybe I'm going to do a review because it's a great film. Okay. So definitely give that a watch. So, unless there's anything else we want to talk about, we can move on.
I was going to say, just shout, Orange is the New Black, the new series just started.
Yeah, I've been, I put off season 5, so I'm trying to get through that at the moment, and then I'm going to watch season 6.
It's one of those things where I block out the main character, which is...
Yeah. I mean, she stopped being the main character after season 2 or 3, didn't she, though? Yeah,
it's just, I just lose interest in her story because literally as soon as this series starts, it's all about Alex, like, where is she and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't be dealing with your white ass, like, broken heart bullshit. I want to talk about the other characters because they are... it's amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, half the time, it's like, do I want to go to prison? And then you think, no, it's terrible. You don't want to go to prison, but it's just such a good show. Like, so many strong characters.
It's incredibly well written. It is really good. And, like, season 5, Chapman isn't the main character at all. All of the events that happened in the season previous to that led up to other people taking that role, I guess. It's sort of... I would say it's more like Game of Thrones, but all the characters are in the same set of walls.
Yeah.
Instead of spread out over miles. Which is a great idea. Yeah.
Because Chapman annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the What You've Been Up To segment.
Yep. And
we can get into the news. So recently, the director of Doctor Strange has left Twitter after James Gunn was fired. What are your thoughts on the whole James Gunn situation before we get into this article?
Stupid that they're bringing up a tweet from 20 years ago and firing him over it because it's 20 years. A person can change so much in that time. Like, if he was still a dickhead now, then okay, that would make sense. But to fire someone because of Disney's image when they've got so much other crap going on, that it's pointless because he has made Guardians, and I'm slightly not fearful for the rest of it, but will Volume 3 go ahead? And if it does, without James Gunn, is it going to be as good?
Yeah, it's sort of been thrown up in the air at the moment. So it's I personally think this whole thing is a bit ridiculous. A, that it's happened so long ago, and B, Disney, your record isn't exactly clean. So
that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, you just look back, not even that long ago. You had Dumbo. There's some pretty racially questionable characters in there, but you've got like properly racist stuff like 50, 60 years ago, and you can make the point that like that's what the culture was at this point. But that's not an excuse. Or it shouldn't be if you're on one hand you're gonna fire someone based on a tweet, It was probably written in the heat of a moment, or I don't know what it is or what the tweet was. But yeah, I just think it's all retarded.
Also, was it got like deleting his Twitter account? Is what kind of shit is he like? Is he trying to hide stuff, or is he just fed up with Twitter that he's leaving, or it's just suddenly so many people are like purging their accounts or sort of deleting so many tweets, being sort of.
Well, I mean, the person in this article, Scott Derrickson, his he won't be on Twitter. I think his account's still active though.
Yeah.
But there are people like I'm not sure of his name, but he co-created or created Rick and Morty. He's also been under fire recently for some pretty bordering paedophilia sketch that he did a couple of years ago, quite a while ago. So he's been under fire recently. So all of this is just happening a lot recently. People have just...
It's all happening at once.
Yeah.
Why wasn't anything made of it when these first came out?
Yeah. And I think if we go back to all this like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey stuff and and all of that, you know, this is becoming in the public light, and it's being realized as like this isn't wrong. But I think with this and with James Gunn especially, it's just been taken completely overboard, you know.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
That's what I'm just saying about it.
Yeah.
Like, one, don't send the tweets in the first place. Two, if you've got something at heart, you don't go deleting it all. Keep it open and then just do a statement saying, I'm sorry for this. This was the old me. Like, or something like that. But trying to hide something is worse than, in a sense, it being there.
I mean, I'm not sure how true that is anymore, because with this James Gunn stuff, like like having it open, this got found, 20 years later, and it's become this massive thing, you know. So,
but
I don't know if keeping it open is the best idea.
People are so easily offended, though.
Yeah, I know. And like, if we give power to them, to those kinds of people, it just becomes something else entirely, you know.
If someone says this is offensive, but then doesn't get heard about it, then they're probably going to say, "Oh, you're discriminating me because you're not taking my opinions seriously."
Yeah.
And this is how things blow up. It's a shame because he's such a good director, and I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but
yeah, I'm all for keeping your mistakes public, but after this, you know, I have to call that into question, because if they could have ramifications like this, and I used to use one of my old Twitter accounts as a way to vent, and I've put some pretty awful stuff out there, you know, and I ended up deleting that when because it was quite a dark place in my life with sort of depression and everything else, and there was a lot of anger.
But I'm pretty sure there's loads of people who've probably said worse.
Absolutely.
Like recently, but no one else is being brought out.
Yeah.
It's purely because they're a big name and it's to do with a big franchise.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know if this is a disgruntled fan or what. But
yeah, all I'm saying is it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty big news at the moment. There's a lot going round. The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson, he didn't leave Twitter, but he has deleted apparently 20,000 tweets. Bloody hell.
Jeez, I don't think he did that on his own. He probably got his assistant and his
probably. Maybe there's a bot that can handle that or something. I don't know.
Or it's probably key, like they've typed in keywords if any of them contain them and just delete them. Yeah.
So this article's saying that most of this and most of the people who are doing this are doing it in solidarity with James Gunn, which is the way I read it when I first saw the article. I don't see how deleting tweets is making a stance against this. Isn't that like bolstering it?
Making it worse.
Yeah. I think that's bolstering the censorship movement that has been going on, if you ask me. But yeah, we don't know who's going to be directing the third Guardians film. if it happens
or even
at all.
even if there's a Guardians film.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that, because it's been pretty big at the moment. There's a lot of bad stuff going on with Marvel at the moment. There's all this stuff with Stan Lee and everything else. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm fully in. I want to support James Gunn, because I think I believe in freedom of speech. You know, you should be able to say, not that there shouldn't be ramifications, but this was said 20 years ago, and like he's obviously grown from it.
No.
Yeah, that's it. Let's change the topic. I'm getting all fired up.
I'm gonna go out and protest now.
Yeah. So we saw some new set photos for the new Star Wars film, which is cool.
Oh, it is
it's a close-up shot of some what looks like circuitry, and you can see in the background. Oh, it is no. Yeah, you're right. It is a camera.
It's a camera.
I thought it was a piece of technology in the universe.
Me too, and then I look at it closely, and then because it's sort of in the middle and the top, it's green.
It kind of looks like the inside of a gaming PC, because it's all like green lit. But anyway, in the aperture in the background, we see John Boyega and someone sat in a chair. Not sure who that is.
I'm just trying to work out from sort of the costume.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if it's maybe. I think maybe like a I
can see Chewie there. But
oh yeah, I just noticed he looks kind of creepy, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's blurred out. You can't really see. Maybe it's Poe. It could be Poe Dameron.
It could be.
Or did he die? I have no idea.
No, he didn't. It looks like they're sort of wearing some like vest. So I don't know if it's sort of like
I don't know. It looks like a puffy jacket with a scarf.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's Rey or Rose. Maybe Rose, or it could just be one of the crew members, sort of like showing them what to do while.
Yeah, I also thought that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He looks quite happy and laughing.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see if I can see anything through that screen from the camera, but it's too small and blurry.
No. Not
But
really.
you're definitely in the Falcon, so.
Yeah. Looks very cool. Yeah, the first time I saw this, I just scrolled past it and took nothing of it, but I've actually... Now that I've looked at it, I know what it is.
They've got sort of the Roman numerals for episode 9, sort of... sort of detailed on the camera, so that's pretty cool.
They got 7 and 9 there, by the look of it. So yeah, that's interesting.
There's that little sweet message that J.J. Abrams wrote along, because it's... Oh, guess what? On Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like... Bittersweet starting this next chapter without Carrie. Oh,
yeah.
My heart breaks.
I think he should have directed the Last Jedi. Like from what he was setting up in Force Awakens, it was only like then retconned in the Last Jedi, and that was the main reason the film didn't hit as well as it should have done or could have done.
No.
So what are your thoughts on the Last Jedi, or on the topic?
I don't know, because it's something I don't really want to speculate too much, because there's just so many possibilities.
Yeah. Like we were saying earlier, how disappointed you were with the scene with Leia in space. We agreed on that.
That would have been a nice way for Princess Leia to ease out because of Carrie Fisher's sort of untimely death. But they had said she had finished all her scenes for The Last Jedi. So I'm thinking, yeah. So I was like, okay. And then when that happened, I was like, oh, this is not the greatest death ever, but that's a good way to go. And then
I was ready to cry. I was sat in the cinema. I was ready to cry. I was so close. And then she opened her eyes. I was like, okay, she's opened her eyes for some reason, but I'm still going for it. And then she starts moving. I'm like, oh yeah, she does have force sensitive abilities, so I guess that's canon. And then she goes into the ship, and I'm like, what?
Mind blown.
Yeah.
But it was you know little porg, like those little creatures.
Oh, fuck them.
They were so cute.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They look tasty.
I mean, Chewbacca almost did, but he felt guilty. He didn't eat one. But they look like they'd taste like chicken.
Yeah.
December 20th, 2019 is when we can finally see what happens.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me because I'm going to give it a miss, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I was burnt out by Last Jedi.
I'm not actually going to pay for it. I'm going to use all my Odeon points I've accumulated and use that. But I'm never watching anything in 3D again.
No. I think the last 3D film I watched was not Infinity War. I did really want to see it in 3D, Infinity War, but I didn't.
I think it was glasses.
Yeah, I don't mind it if the effects are alright. Sometimes you can get a film that's like not really well screen written, and it's mainly that you feel like there are more scenes that are written purely for the 3D effect. I find them really cheesy because I can notice them.
Because that's what I did with when they first brought out the film. So was it Force Awakens?
Yeah.
I was booking my tickets, and it said I had enough points for 3D and like premium seats. So okay, I'll go with it. I was watching it, and I was like, I couldn't focus because even with the glasses on, I could see the double.
Yeah.
And I was like, I might as well just watch it without the glasses, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, I'm never going to watch it again. And then I was like, I'll do it one more time. So I watched it for the Planet of the Apes. It must have been Dawn. I think it was the second film.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, yeah, that's just confirmed that I'm never watching anything in 3D again.
I kind of like 3D films, but yeah. So Nintendo recently updated, their software really. They brought out a new firmware update to stop piracy.
The 3DS.
Yeah, this is basically in response to people, homebrewing on their Nintendo Switches, because there's a flaw in the software, in the hardware actually, that makes it impossible for them to update it, but there's a flaw in the circuitry that makes it fucked up. So people have been hacking away on the 3DS as well as the Switch, and yeah, they finally managed to work it out and released a firmware update on that.
How's it taken so long though?
I'm not sure. I'm not a techie person. There is someone who's been on the podcast beforehand who's probably going to explain it a lot better than I can. But there was a problem with their circuitry that not only did it cause a problem, but it made it impossible for them to do a firmware update. Or, well, relatively impossible. They've obviously managed it. And it basically made it easier for people to hack the systems and make their own software for it and pirate games and stuff. So, yeah, Nintendo have always kind of been relatively lax on piracy compared to what other companies do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I still have my Nintendo, was it Lite?
Yeah.
When did they bring that out?
That's got to be 2006. Around that time.
Yeah, I think I got it for Christmas.
Yeah. I know the original DS came out at that point. 2006, 2007.
Yeah, I remember Christmas Day opening up. My dad wouldn't let me play it until it was all charged up.
Yeah.
And then Animal Crossing being like one of the first games I ever got.
Yeah.
And still, for like the originals, sort of like the lights, they're still about 20 quid for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo always have this problem with their games where they don't really change the prices that much. Doesn't matter. Like, they know what's popular. They know they're more lucrative franchises. That's why Pokemon is still about 30 quid for the original game. At the very least, you can find it at that price, I reckon. Other than that, you won't find a copy of it unless they're a couple of hundred quid. Yeah. So Nintendo have a lot of weird business practices. Like, they don't let YouTubers claim money if their content has Nintendo stuff in it, which is stupid. They only produce a limited amount of consoles and games to sort of chokehold the market, to make it look like their consoles are sought after, when in reality they've just made half of what they potentially could have done. And there's some really weird. Sorry, go on.
I think most of my controllers are knockoffs because we've lost the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a massive fan of Nintendo. That was all I used to play. I've still got an original Game Boy. I've got a Wii, I've got a GameCube, I've got an N64, Game Boy Advance, and a 3DS XL. Which I play most of them quite a bit still.
Oh, I only use my Lite now for the 42 card games.
Yeah.
I love that.
like
I do
those
not
sort of
have
things.
a stylus stick, so I have to use my finger.
I've got one if you want
it's
to
almost...
borrow one or have one.
Yeah, actually, I'll need to bring it round because half of it's almost falling off.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, because you see in this picture, and it's got sort of Yoshi and his pet dog.
In where am I?
That's probably
in the article.
No, the picture, the article.
Yeah.
So imagine that, but a smaller screen, so it's the Lite.
Yeah.
In the two corners where it sort of opens, where it sort of Nintendo's open. It used to click, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you could open it. Well, on one of the sides, it sort of snapped. So neither does it click, but it also sort of half comes off. So that's what the problem is.
I see. So it's a problem with the hinge and not the screen. Not the screen itself.
Yeah, so
okay,
everything else works perfectly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can do that for you. I repaired a few consoles before.
I'll send you a picture first because I don't think you can.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty simple with the hinge pieces are hard to come by, but it'll be alright.
Okay.
See what I can do.
But I would love a little knitted Yoshi though, because he looks so cute.
You can buy that actually. There is a thing you can buy. It's something called amiibos. They're basically like physical DLC. I don't I don't think very fondly of them because of the type of thing they are. They're just transactions, but they're physical things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, they should stop making things so hackable. Like, think of things before they do it.
Yeah, we're never going to get to that point. People are always going to be able to hack stuff. But I think that is everything. We can go on to the release list. So there are a few films coming out that have come out already. There's two, but there are a few coming out in the next few weeks. One of the more popular ones would be Mission Impossible. I think it's called Fallout, this one. I don't know what number this is, but that's irrelevant, really. These are films that you shouldn't really number.
6 or 7.
Yeah, it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, I've got all of the original Mission Impossibles on VHS, as in the TV series from the 70s or 80s.
Oh my god.
And I'm still waiting to get through those. But there are loads. I don't even know how many. There's like so many.
But what's cool is Tom Cruise does do all of his own stunts.
Didn't he break his leg for this film?
Probably, to be honest.
Pretty sure there was something about that.
But as well, Henry Cavill, he's in this.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
I think this is set in London, so we're going to get a British Henry Cavill, which would be fun.
Oh. I'm swooning already.
So, yeah, I'm probably not going to watch this until it comes out on DVD, which is what I usually do with films of this nature. I don't think I even watched the last one. I can't remember. I don't even know what it was about. I remember watching the one in Dubai, and there's a sandstorm or something, and he's climbing a building. I remember that one.
No, I think that was the one. Yeah, I think that was the first one. I think when they decided to remake them.
I don't think so. No.
Oh, I'm losing.
First one came out ages ago. It's in that one.
Okay.
There's one. I think it's Ghost something. Fallen Ghost something.
Protocol.
Ghost Protocol. Yeah, I've seen
that's
that
the
one.
when they're in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because Simon Pegg's plays a bit more of a bigger role in it as well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Benji, I love his character.
Sorry, I'm making little blue tack animals at the moment. Just keeping my hands busy. But other than that, there's a film called Unfriended Dark Web. It's going to be one of those horror films that I'm not going to watch either.
That is not me. Horror films is not me.
No, you and Amber are completely different because she loves those sorts of films. We've also got Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Don't get me started on this. I can't be dealing with this. The TV series is bad enough. From the trailer alone, they already have most of the jokes, I reckon. And they go on about Deadpool and they think they're funny, and I just can't be bothered with it. So
let's move on then.
It's not for me. Christopher Robin comes out tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm super excited.
I watched the trailer for the first time the other day, and I got so excited.
Yeah.
It looks so funny.
Yeah. There's really not much I can say. I spoke about it on the last episode where we spoke about it pretty much in depth. Yeah, I'm excited. Probably not going to see it in cinema, but it's probably going to be a Blu-ray film that I'll get.
I think it's a Odeon points worthy film.
Yeah.
You can use it for.
So also tomorrow we have a film called The Spy Who Dumped Me. I haven't heard about this film until 10 minutes ago when we looked up film releases. So I think you know a bit more about this than I do.
Yes,
so it
stars Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon.
I'm already in. Sign me up. I'm going to watch it.
Yes, so it's a beautiful, like all about sort of friendship and love and spies.
Sick.
Oh my! It looks amazing. They travel countries, and if has anyone seen the TV series Outlander? Because there's this guy called Sam with a Scottish last name or something, and he's a gorgeous human being. He is a hunk of a man, and he's also in this. But it's good. It's got spies, espionage, drama, girl power, and Kate McKinnon. What could go wrong? It looks amazing.
That sounds good. I'm not too big on the espionage genre in terms of watching it in the cinema. I'll watch a James Bond film when it comes out.
But this is good because they're two people who know absolutely nothing about the spy world and trying to survive. Yeah. It looks so funny. Yeah,
I kind of like the sort of comedic take on those sort of genres. Like Central Intelligence is a great film.
That was amazing.
I like those. So that's it for this week. Next week, on next Friday, we've got the movie for Slender Man coming out. It's so late. Like 10 years. What's it been since Slender Man was popular? What, like 9 years ago? Why is it coming out now? Surely they should have brought it out all those years ago.
Probably run out of horror storylines to do.
Yeah, but from like a marketing perspective, I don't think anyone's going to watch this so far after the fact. Maybe when the game was out, they could have used all of that as promotion for the film. Because the game wasn't that fucking good. But everybody raved about it. PewDiePie played it. Everyone was on about that. So I think it's a bit weird bringing this out in 2018 when it's been like 10 years of nothing from the Slender Man sort of genre of games that stood out, really.
It's not my kind of genre, so it's nothing I'm ever going to watch.
Nah, so I'm going to give that one a miss. Because also coming out on that day, you've got Black Klansman, which looks fantastic.
Oh, mate, that looks hilarious.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
And it also has Adam Driver in it, and he is another gorgeous human being.
This obsession you have with Adam Driver is beyond me, but...
Have you seen the film Logan Lucky?
I have. He's not attractive in that.
What? Why not?
How is he attractive in that film?
I don't know. I'm almost attracted to it. It's weird.
Yes, it definitely is weird.
That was also a good film, isn't it? If no one's ever
It's a great film.
I recommend that.
Yeah.
But just sort of the storyline and the idea of Black Klansman, is that one based on a true story? I don't know.
I believe it is, actually.
Or is it like very loosely based on a true story?
It's more than likely loosely based, but we can double check.
But that is something. It's set in like the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
As if anyone can tell from the title, this black man he's a policeman, infiltrates the KKK, basically over the phone, but sends Adam Driver in as sort of the white looking guy, but technically he's Jewish, so.
Yeah.
Which is just like, it's funny from the trailer, and it's got me in. Something I'm going to spend money on.
So, it is based on a real character, and on real people, and a real story by the look of it. but it's obviously going to be embellished quite a bit.
Yeah, like most things based on a true story, it's going to be dramatized.
It looks fantastic though, and I really want to watch it. There's all sorts of Spike Lee directs it, so it's in good hands, definitely. So yeah, that looks exciting. That comes out next Friday. Also on the same day we got The Meg, which is Jason Statham's next hit film.
Giant ass shark.
Yeah, Jason Statham fights a giant ass shark.
While trapped undersea.
Yeah. Not sure. It's one of those. It's just a corny film. This isn't. I don't think it's meant to be taken seriously at all.
No.
So it's fun for that reason. And I used to really love B movies. So I went through a period of time where I just watched shitty movie after shitty movie. So this looks like to be within that sort of genre. So that looks interesting. That's if a film releases that I could see anyway. This isn't a new release. We'll go into games for a second. This isn't a new release because this came out in 2016, but the No Man's Sky received a huge update and came out on a few extra consoles. Do you know anything about No Man's Sky before we get into that?
I do not.
So basically it's this space exploration game, and it's mixed in with a bit of survival and stuff. And you basically just go from planet to planet collecting resources, and you're trying to get to the center of the universe, and it's just a sort of story. And it initially before launch, it was hyped up to be something that it just was not. And as soon as it launched, everybody was like, "What the fuck? This isn't what we paid for. This isn't what we pre-ordered." So
it looks colourful.
The palette on it is incredible, and I've always thought it was an okay looking game at least. Say again, sorry.
I know, it's just saying it's vibrant.
Yeah, and supposedly each planet's supposed to be unique and has a different biome and stuff like that. How true that is of this update, I'll have to check, because I'm probably gonna play it soon. It costs quite a lot at the moment on Xbox at least, so maybe I'll give it a go on the PC because I already bought it. But yeah, it looks interesting, and it's revitalized the game because a lot of people are now talking about No Man's Sky again. It was this running joke of disappointment for the last 2 years. So yeah, that looks interesting. So I think that's it in terms of releases. We are over time just a little bit, so we'll go into trailers. We'll just do a couple of these. Some of them that really stood out to me was a film called Patient Zero. This comes out on the 14th of August, starring Matt Smith. It looks really interesting. Did you catch this trailer?
Yeah, so it's the new zombie film of the year.
Yeah.
And sort of the main zombie guy, all I can think of Stanley Tucci, which is the same guy from Devil Wears Prada, so I can't really separate those at the moment.
Yeah, I mean he's been in a lot of things. I find it hard to see him in.
Serious?
Yeah, I mean he seems to be typecast a lot, I guess. Yeah. And his look never changes from character to character, so I find it really difficult sometimes. But his character is this zombie, and the zombies in this universe seem to be more like the next step in human evolution rather than a disease. They're sort of the next step, you know? So that's an interesting spin, and that's always how I viewed zombies, really. So yeah, it looks interesting. Probably give that a watch. We got a new trailer for Alita, sorry. That comes out in December. It looks beautiful. There are a lot of they received a lot of flack on the look of the main character. Her eyes, fucking hell, I'm stumbling.
I like the big eyes.
Yeah, the eyes. I kind of like the eyes. Yeah,
I like it. Yeah.
By the fact that she's a robot, you know.
Yeah, she's meant to be different.
Yeah.
She's made to be different, so I don't get the point in the big eyes. Like why they're so puffed up about the big eyes. They're cool. They look good.
Yeah. And because it's based on the manga, so long as they've got like other characters with the same sort of traits and she isn't the only one, you know, I'd be even more okay with it. But you know,
because I think isn't she meant to be like the last of?
I don't know anything about the universe. I'm going to be going into this fresh.
Oh, okay. Because from the looks of the trailer, she's sort of the only one of her kind in a sense.
We saw some other sort of robot-y characters. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think a lot of emphasis was on she's different from others.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it definitely looks interesting. I'm going to give it a watch. Definitely. That comes out in December, so I'll probably go and watch that instead of whatever else is out. Is there a Star Wars film out this year?
No, because Han Solo was early.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, fuck that film.
Yeah. It's strange, they're normally around Christmas, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to go with that, but I didn't know if there was a film out. What else do we have here that looked interesting? Glass. There's a film called Glass coming out. This is set in the Unbreakable and Split universe. Have you seen those films?
I haven't, but since watching the trailer for Glass, I will do. Yeah. Because it looks so interesting.
I haven't seen either of them, but they look great, I guess. So I'm going to have to watch both of them before they come out, before Glass comes out.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it, so I'm not really going to talk about it.
No.
Godzilla 2 got a new trailer for that. It's got Millie Bobby Brown in it, which is always good to see her in a different role.
Yeah, with a bit more hair.
Yeah, with hair. Yeah. Apparently, there's going to be a character from King Kong.
I want it to be King Kong.
I want it to be King Kong too. But yeah, Godzilla 2 looks great. I love those sorts of films. And Godzilla, while it's a flawed film, is still like a great watch. It's still worth the Blu-ray, you know.
Yeah.
King Kong, I need to give it another watch because I've just completely forgotten how that film ends. But yeah, Fantastic Beasts. I need to talk about that. That looks great.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait.
As much as I have a disdain for the Harry Potter universe as a whole, yeah, I'm properly stoked. I'm still, every film that comes out, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna need to watch this.
Yeah, it's just the one scene in the trailer when Jude Law, playing Albus Dumbledore, sort of walks backwards and sits on a desk. His bum looks very squishable. It looks amazing. But there are many more worth things to watch within that film than Jude Law's bum.
I definitely squished Jude Law's bum.
We've seen like a new Beast. Like the look of that new Beast looks amazing.
Great. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully they focus more on. I think what was lacking from the first film is the beasts. Like they showed a variety of creatures, but they didn't actually expand on that.
What?
As much? No. Do you disagree?
Yeah. I mean, there were so many, and then I think what they did with what they had was really good. What I'm worried about in this new film is they won't have enough.
I think they had too many, definitely, in the first film. Or and yeah, maybe, I agree that they won't have enough in this one. I don't think, because it's going to be all about Grindelwald.
Like the first one, too many, but then you are introducing like his love for all these many different creatures, and I think they did that good.
Yeah.
But what I'm sensing in the new film is that they're not going to have enough creatures. That, in a sense, they've gone and like got it over and done with in the first film, and then there'll be a couple in the next one, but it'll be focused more on Grindelwald. Oh, Johnny Depp. No, I don't. I don't like him being cast as Grindelwald.
But an interesting take on this is like the reason that Newt has been like drafted to take on this is because he respects like all the creatures that he captures and whatever else he needs to do with them, you know. So the fact that he's going to catch Grindelwald essentially because he's a pure character. He's not gonna take it on with emotion.
That, and it's always been a sense that Dumbledore, he couldn't do it to begin with.
Yeah.
Because of his connection with him.
Yeah.
And wasn't it always a sense that it was more of like a romantic connection?
It wasn't explained like that in the books. How like J.K. Rowling came out and said that after the fact, which I
but then
don't agree with doing.
She's completely denying that now, so it's getting very confusing. But
yeah, my opinion of J.K. Rowling as a writer isn't good. But yeah, I'm excited to see this film. I'll watch it.
That's one I'm going to go to cinema to go see.
Definitely, looks cool. Bohemian Rhapsody. I am super, super, super stoked for this. It comes out on the 2nd of November. I need to watch it. It's basically a biopic of Freddie Mercury and Queen. You probably could tell from the title.
Really? Wow.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Who'd thunk it? No, but it looks great. I actually can't wait. Mostly for the songs, but mostly because I actually want to learn more about... Because Freddie Mercury is one of my heroes in terms of singing.
I am probably going to be the only one singing to all of the songs in the cinema.
Yeah. If I'm in the same cinema as you definitely won't be. I think they should do like how they did with what's that film called? Hugh Jackman did a musical recently.
Oh, The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, The Greatest Showman. They did a sing along. If they do a sing along for this, if there are enough songs in it, that would be cool. I'd go to that.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm so stoked for that. Oh, we got a new Shazam trailer. Just it looks really weird. I don't like the look of the suit at all. It just looks fake, really. It just looks like stupidly padded out.
That is something I'm going to have to catch up on because I've not yet seen it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it at all. It looks very kid friendly. Maybe it's a kid's film. I don't know. Never been interested in the Shazam character. But I'm sure there's somebody who'd like it. Shazam's supposed to be one of the characters that is almost as powerful as Superman. But slightly less. And sometimes more. Because DC never know what to do.
Okay.
So it's definitely a more comedic-esque character. It's got Zachary Levi in it, who's good. He's a childish actor. Yeah. So that looks okay. Not sure I'm going to watch it. Maybe I'll wait for another trailer, I think. And finally, on my list here, we've got the new Venom trailer. I wasn't expecting what I saw in this trailer, and I'm super stoked for it.
Honestly, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I really can't wait. This isn't coming out till next year, but I'm so hyped for it.
It's you never normally get
the connection's really slow. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you for whatever reason. Okay, guys, so unfortunately the internet cut out right on the last segment, but we did have a couple of other things we wanted to say. So basically we went into discussion about the new Venom trailer. It looks amazing. I think Laura said something about Tom Hardy is a great casting decision for that film. And I think she was also saying that you don't usually get films of this type where villains per se get their limelight, as it were. So it's interesting to have those sorts of films. I completely agree. I cannot wait. It looks really good. I think they overhauled a few issues that people had with the last trailer that we saw. It's probably mostly going to be all the times that they say symbiote instead of symbiote. Other than that, I think we discussed a bit of Robin Hood and Aquaman. They both come out on the 21st of December. I am meh about both of those films. Aquaman I'm probably not going to see at all. I've completely fallen out of love with DC as a whole. And Robin Hood, it looks okay. It looks like, while it's still set in the Robin Hood era, it feels like it's more of a action version of the Robin Hood mythology, as it were. So that looks interesting. Probably going to watch it. And I think that was it. So that's about it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for Laura for joining me. It's a shame that the end of that conversation is unusable. I had to delete it all because it was just choppy and awful sounding. So other than that, have a good rest of your week. Bye. Nerd Appreciation and the Nerd Appreciation podcast was created by Lloyd Repton. Our logos were designed by @BoxofRicks on Instagram, and music for the show was created by Liquid Salvation on SoundCloud. If you want to be a part of our community, you can join our Nerd Appreciation Facebook group, like and follow the Nerd Appreciation podcast on Facebook and Twitter for updates on the podcast, and follow us on Instagram for extra content such as behind the scenes footage and further updates. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have a few minutes, please tell us what you think of the podcast by leaving us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. I'll read them out on the show, and if you tell your nerdy mates about the show, that would be awesome also. Okay, so sorry about the internet situation at the end there. It was midnight and I grew frustrated, and I decided to just cut my losses and just leave it alone. So, as I said at the beginning, there's going to be more content soon. I am just in the initial planning stage, so I'm going to keep my head down, make sure I'm being consistent, and then I'm going to branch out for the next challenge. So we will see you next time, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.